Hi, this is Wesley, and you're listening to In Between the Lines. So, today I have with me someone who I brought back. He was on the Cowboy Bebop episode, if you guys might have heard. It's my good friend, Alan Bartee. How are you doing, Alan?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling, man.
Cool. So, hey, do you want to know something?
Yeah, why not?
So, have you ever watched an anime, and it felt like the plot didn't go anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So, today we are talking about filler. Specifically, what is filler in general, instead of us diving into only one specific thing.
Yeah.
So, do you want to explain what filler is?
Okay, so pretty much how I've seen it is that filler is an episode where if you just skip it, it won't change anything about the plot. It doesn't progress anything. It doesn't change anything. It's just there.
Okay. Yeah, because there have been moments where like I would watch something and I'd be like really heavily invested into what's going on, and then it gets to a moment where it's just like there's nothing about the actual plot that's involved. The show just takes a different direction. You're just like,
hey, everybody, let's pause for just a second.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just like, why? Like, what's going on here? And sometimes it lasts for an episode, and then sometimes it lasts for a long while. Naruto specifically.
Or Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Or Bleach.
True.
One Piece. Ooh, should I not say that? Yeah, the show that's been going on since the 90s and has like how many? Like 900 and something episodes?
Yeah. I feel like I still need to get into that though.
Yeah. I don't know at this point. I don't care.
So, like, are there... I would ask if there's like anything... How should I say this? Is there anything good and is there anything bad about filler?
I mean, it's the kind of quote-unquote feel that people say where it's just about the characters and they just develop them and how it is. Like, I remember I was watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. That was the first time I really watched the Dragon Ball Z series. And then I found out later that all it was just an abridged series of Dragon Ball Z, the original, because there was episodes like, if people who watched it, who were big anime, like, there's the episodes of where it was just Piccolo and Gohan training.
Yeah.
Where they kind of skipped it throughout one episode, but there were actually multiple episodes leading up to that. And stuff like that, people would bring up and say, well, they really didn't need to skip it in Kai because that's supposed to develop Gohan and Piccolo's relationship.
Yeah. When
Piccolo finally makes that big sacrifice to save Gohan. Yeah. Because in Kai, it feels like they just came out of nowhere.
And it was like, because I know what you're talking about, because like when that scene happened in Kai, you're just like, this feels like it came out of left field.
Yeah, because like one of those things where all I've seen was just Piccolo beating the shit and that out everybody. My bad. Don't look at me like that. Don't worry, put a sound effect on that. But just Piccolo just...
He was beating the mess out of Gohan.
Yes, beating out of Gohan. And to the point it was like, Gohan, no! It's like, wait, but where did this come from? But there's Dragon Ball is really the first time where it really come to filler, in my opinion, because I remember I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai, and I remember it was when they went to Namek, it was just go to Earth and Namek, and that's it. Yeah. But in the actual original Dragon Ball Z, they went to a fake Namek. Yeah. And they also rented this other spaceship in space.
And they went to to other places, but I see why they shortened it to just going to Namek, because if it's them just going to Namek, it cuts down on being like basically, we're just gonna go to all these different places. If you want to get to that certain place, then you're already there.
Yeah. And
I think the first time I ever actually saw filler was when I watched Naruto.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was one episode where they spent the entire episode trying to figure out what Kakashi face. And there was one that was like, oh, these have big teeth, these have big lips, and all this kind of stuff. And look, to be fair, it's a funny episode. I really did like it. But then look at the grand thing of things. It's like, yeah, this is kind of fun, but we're getting kind of 10 episodes in between this.
But it was weird because like I remember I was watching Naruto Shippuden, like when he's a teenager, and like, it was weird because I was, like, heavily invested into that plot. And then it suddenly takes a shift to when he's younger and they're trying to figure out what Kakashi's face looks like. And I'm like, wait a minute. He's a teenager. Why did we go back to him being a kid?
But this starts Shippuden?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I was like, how, like, why? Like, and it was weird. It was, like, weird because, like, they just threw it in there for no apparent reason. And it was, like, in the middle of, like, a big fight that was about to happen. And then they were just like, filler time. And I'm like, why? Why would you do this?
I've heard the reason why they do that is because, like, anime usually time is based on the manga. Yeah. But what happens is that it's kind of one of those things, kind of like a Game of Thrones situation, where they're writing the manga at the same time they're doing the anime, so they catch up to the manga, and they have nothing else, so they just pad it out.
Mm-hmm. And to basically, like, give the manga enough time to get ahead, and then they're like, okay, hey, now with the more chapters, that we can turn into anime now. So yeah, I can see that, because that's kind of like what they did with Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
Because like when
I really want like Brotherhood. I haven't watched the original.
Because I watched both, and I heard from both sides. Because some people were like, "Don't watch Full Metal, go straight to Brotherhood," and I wanted to know why. And apparently, with the original Full Metal, they were following the manga up to a certain point, and then the manga they didn't have enough. The manga they caught up to the manga, so then they basically just padded it out and made their own ending. And I was like, okay, I was alright with that. Then you get Brotherhood, and Brotherhood just follows the manga entirely to like the official ending.
And that's why it's better. I mean, I heard when it comes to Fullmetal Alchemist and Brotherhood, I mean, this is a different tangent.
Yeah.
But it was still on the topic of filler versus non-filler, is that in Fullmetal Alchemist, there's people who watched it. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where they spend an entire episode based on a character called Billy the Butcher.
Yeah, yeah.
And they spend all the episode on that, but in the actual show, they kind of don't dwell on that because it's not the focus.
Yeah,
because like, people prefer kind of that section of Full Metal because it actually gave more development to Ed because it's actually showing the more vulnerable state.
Yeah.
Rather in Full Metal Brotherhood, they really don't do that much. And some people feel that because of it not having filler, it actually feels like they're rushing through the story a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think the reason why like they didn't dive that deep into it in Brotherhood is because like you were saying, like that's not really like the full crutch of it. It's more like in the background, so like they referenced it, but it's not like, hey, we're gonna give an entire episode to what's going on in the background. It's like we want to stay with the Elric brothers, we're gonna stay with them. And it's just like, well, I kind of like getting that little downtime, I guess. Yeah. Because like then you get to flesh out and see more character development from those other people instead of just being, oh, we're just dealing with these people and not these people. It's not like these people aren't important, but we want to deal with the main characters when everyone in that show is kind of basically a main character. If you think about it, we'll be back, guys. And we're back.
How you doing, everybody?
Sorry for those interruptions.
So what I was about to say is that because you were talking how some people, when it comes, they don't want a whole entire episode focus on filler. Yeah. And like for me, it's a thing of like, oh, this is cool, but we really need an entire episode on it. I guess for me, like when it came to, because I remember when they on Dragon Ball Z when they went to different planets before they got to Namek. Mm-hmm. I found out that was it. Just not one episode, but that was several. That they were on that fake planet. Yeah, yeah. And it was like, you could have just done this in one episode. Exactly. Like, I don't know why you had to stretch it out. Yeah. Because it just feels like more of a mini-series at that point.
Whereas, like, that's why I liked it in Kai, where, like, they sat there and they just condensed it just to be like, hey, we're going to Namek, and then they just started the Namek saga from there. Yeah. And I was like, okay, we don't need, hey, we're going to fake Namek, and then all these other hijinks ensue, and it's just like,
I'm not saying those aren't fun, but it's just
don't get me wrong. We have nothing against filler.
No.
Because, like, sometimes I appreciate the filler.
Yeah.
Because, like, if it's just high action all the time, I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of it. You know, I need something to, like, calm down.
Yeah.
It's just like, so when you get that filler, you're like, okay, this is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
For like, that little brief second to, like, have you process everything that had just happened the day before.
Yeah. I remember the first time I guess I heard about filler was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the episode that people bring up is the Great Divide arc.
Oh, the one with Bossing Say?
No, I forgot what the episode's called. When they go into that giant valley and gorge of those two different societies, like one's clean and one's like dirty.
Yeah,
and
that was weird.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I really did like the episode when I was younger.
I liked it,
but then I found out people didn't like it that much. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I guess since it wasn't nothing to do with the Fire Nation, that it was just a one-off.
See, I like that one.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't actually see it as a filler. I just thought it was just part of the show.
Yeah.
And then, like...
So, I looked at the Attack of the Titans. I always want to be on the show.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, my head hurts.
That makes two of us. But, like...
Speaking of filler...
this entire episode's a filler.
That's the joke.
But, like, you know, I liked... Because I originally thought that was actually just part of the show itself.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know why I thought... Well, because I've heard, like, people talk about, like, the Great Divide as being a filler episode.
Yeah.
Or the... What was it? Aang having to, like, make the whole zoo place. People said that was filler.
Wait, but that was part of, like, what the stories of Ba Sing Se?
Yeah. But it was weird because people
But instead of, like, the next episode, what happened to Appa, and it showed... the Iroh dealing with his son.
That was just because people were like, "Oh, this is just filler," and I'm like,
"But it's a really good episode."
But that's the thing is that like people don't. I don't think most people understand what is considered filler and what isn't. So they just want to label almost anything they see. That
Man, people who be like, "Oh, this is filler," but then they're on the line be like, "Man, I wish this character got more character development."
Exactly.
I'm like, "It's okay."
Yeah, and you're just like. They did get more character development. You just didn't see. Sorry, we're back again. There's been a lot of interruptions lately.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, man.
So, is there anything else about filler that we still need to talk about?
I mean, we can just talk about just our favorite types of shows that happen with the filler episodes and everything.
I guess, because I dang damn it, now I'm just I guess like for me the filler that I like is when like it still gives that kind of and you know what, as an example I'll use My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So you know when they did the whole murder mystery type deal, like when it was basically like a bank robbery.
Yeah. And
Midnight was there, and All Might was the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like stuff like that. Well, because like it didn't really progress the plot.
Yeah.
But it was like just that like downtime to like see what all the characters had learned, and then putting them into a new scenario, being like, hey, if it was a bank robbery that turned into a murder mystery and a whodunit, what do you do?
I feel like that's one of those things where now get topic, oh, should this be part of the show, or just should this be like an OVA?
Yeah.
Something to the side, just a short thing that's not part of the actual series.
Yeah.
Because I actually seen some, like, especially with some shows, like, I know you know Steven Universe, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Steven Universe had this problem where, because it wasn't aired frequently, every time a new episode would come out and not story related, people would get madder at that episode.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing happened with Gravity Falls. You ever seen Gravity Falls?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was
I think I've watched all of Gravity Falls.
Yeah, I think there was one episode where they went on a road trip and Stan met this woman turned out to be an evil spider.
Yeah.
I remember I really liked that episode, but on the internet people were angry at this episode and didn't like the episode because it was during this thing where Disney was during this hiatus show where it would take like months to close to a year until the show came back, and then we finally got an episode. It's not story related and people were mad. Actual episode, which now that the series is done, I can just watch it as it is, and it's like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it was never to me. It was never a big deal to begin with.
Like it's like actually one of my favorite episodes.
Oh yeah, I mean it was more like one of those suspenseful kind of kind of episodes too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I remember just seeing that episode and then like seeing like how the woman was interacting with Stan. I was like, she's a little bit awkward.
And then just put on Spider Eyes. I'm like,
Yep. I'm like, that's a no from me. I gotta get out of here.
Not me. Shoot, I'll still be there. I'll be like, we can still make this work.
We can still make this work.
Yeah, but
that's the both of us. You being like, yeah, we can make this work. For me, I'm out of here, Chief. I'll meet you at the car.
Yeah. But then we get into this topic of like, okay, like if I can just binge a show, does the filler even matter at that point?
I mean, sometimes.
Because I guess there's a thing like, I can just skip it if I find this episode not appealing or something.
Yeah, and it's just. And then there is also like still going along with that. There's also the point of like, how do you know when it's filler and how do you know when it's actually part of the show?
Yeah.
Because Naruto basically did the same thing, where it's like you have all these, all these chronological episodes, and then you have no clue where the filler starts and where the filler ends.
And then you have to go on fan websites and be like, hey, all you gotta do is skip episode 50 to 145. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. And at that point, it's like, okay, should I just show on that? Because it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, this show has pacing issues, but if you take out these episodes, it really doesn't. So is that the fault of active creators or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then sometimes it's just like, when you have like that huge chunk that like fan sites are like, oh, if you want to get the entire thing, just skip from here to here, and then it just leaves you with maybe I should just watch it and all in order just to like get to the end.
Because I really do want to get into some that shows like Naruto, because I haven't really finished Naruto. And other shows, but then I see that list of episode 855, and it's like, okay, like, I don't really have time for this.
Yeah. I guess, like, now, because, like, now, like, especially with the anime that we have coming out now, you're just
Boruto?
Well, yeah. Boruto kind of made me it kind of made me a little bit sad at first.
I don't know, like...
Well, the only reason why I said that is because, like, it started off with a filler episode, like, as episode 1, like... It's in, because like with Naruto started off with how the manga started off. Yeah. So they already had a good leaping off point. Boruto, on the other hand, I can't speak, Alan.
You good.
But like, from when Boruto started, it started off, it was like, you know what, we're going to do something completely different. Start straight from scratch. And have Boruto be in the Ninja Academy. And I'm just like, okay, but like, you could have easily just started off from chapter 1 and then moved onward. And then halfway through, they're like, you know what? We're no longer going to start adapting things from the manga. So then they just started making filler episodes. And now they're starting to adapt things from the manga. And I'm like, you couldn't have did this from the start?
So they do this thing where, because every time I see Boruto, it just looks slice of life to me.
It
doesn't feel like it has a overall story. It just feels like, okay, I'm just watching just a Naruto kind of style slice of life, which is no problem with that. Yeah. And I mean, we're going to another topic of like, because I've seen some clips of the new Inuyasha show, which is based on on his kids. Yeah, we can have this. That can be a show and a half of talking about how you have these sequel shows, but instead of focusing on the characters growing up, they decided to focus on the next generation of the kids, like they did with Avatar, like they did with Naruto. Yep. Like how sometimes they do with Dragon Ball, but it's like one of those things where I would like to focus on Gohan, but they say, people like Goku more, so he needs to focus.
Because like, even with that, like, we're gonna have to wrap up here.
Yeah, about to wrap up. That's another topic for another day.
But I will say this before we leave: is that like, on that topic about Gohan, like, when Gohan was teen Gohan, I was all for it. He went Super Saiyan 2. He beat up Cell, and then I was like, "Yo, I see good things in your future."
And then they did this stupid thing where it's like, "Oh no, we need to find Boo's lair, so let's let Gohan's power drain and send him back."
Exactly.
And it was like, you couldn't have just interrogated these guys and beat the crap out of them. You're just gonna let your own son just drain power, get down.
Yeah. And then it got to a point where, like, he's like,
now the focus is on Goten and Trunks.
I'm like, you skipped a person.
But now it all goes back to Goku.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's another topic for another day of like, it's all about Gohan. Well, no, now it's about Trunks and Goten. Now they're the heroes. Oh wait, they couldn't do it. Now it's about Goku again.
Goku
It's
and
like-
Gohan fused together.
Like, it's kind of like what Team Four-Star say, just wait till Goku, and that's it.
Yeah.
Even though I just feel like sometimes they make Goku.
Alan, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, they're all the chaos.
They're all the chaos.
It was fun.
Okay, so since we're about to end off, do you want to say, so after I tell everyone thanks for listening, and we hope I really hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe, please.
And stay in tune for the bloopers.
Also, leave a comment. It might help us. I think it will help us out.
I hope
right?
so.
So, would you like to say in between the lines together?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks,
See you
guys. We hope you've enjoyed listening to In Between the Lines.